Good day everyone, especially to our Professor Sir Joffer Nazario. My name is Justin F. Oquendo from Criminal Justice 23 and we're going to discuss the different methods of identification. Let's go to our first topic, forensic anthropology. Forensic anthropology can be described as the analysis of human remains for the medical legal purpose of establishing identity. It is a multidisciplinary endeavor that applies the knowledge of biological anthropology and human osteology to cases where human remains are skeletonized or where a detailed understanding of the growth and development, morphology, or reactive norms of the human body can assist other disciplines in positive identification. As such, it is perhaps best placed as a subdiscipline within the wider practice of forensic human identification, having applicability to both the living and the dead. Anthropologists are routinely called upon to assist in the identification of individuals whose remains are severely decomposed, burned, disrupted, mutilated, or otherwise rendered difficult to recognize. And that's the use and importance of forensic anthropology. We can't deny how important it is in the field of identification. And now let's go to our second topic, forensic serology. Forensic serology is the application of the study of blood, semen, saliva, and other body fluids to legal matters. The field generally is comprised of the detection of enzymes and antigens, as in the identification of seminal stains or blood typing and DNA typing. The serology section of forensic laboratory may deal with any of the following: blood typing, characterization. The composition of blood is a mixture of many components: enzymes, water, proteins. 55% of blood content is plasma, mostly water and substances dissolved in it. Most of the solid materials are cells, red blood cells, white blood cells. Sometimes we can be deceived by other stains, knowing it's a blood, but it's not. Is it blood or not? Presumptive tests rely on hemoglobin's ability to catalyze the oxidation of certain regions, usually resulting in a color change. We have two different types of stains. There's the visible stains and the invisible stains. Invisible, we have Castle-Mayer. It is the solution of phenolphthalein is applied to suspected blood stain, followed by hydrogen peroxide. A bright pink color indicates the presence of blood. The other one is lithium-malachite green, where the same procedure as KM produces blue-green color in the presence of blood. In invisible stains, we have luminol, used for large areas where blood is suspected but not darkness and photographed quickly. In serology, there's a thing that we call positives, because blood is not the only matter that will cause presumptive test regions to change color, because horse, radish, and potatoes can also give positive results, but unlikely to be at the crime scene though. The third one is forensic odontology, the new dimension in dental analysis. It is a branch of forensic sciences, uses the skill of the dentist in personal identification during mass calamities, sexual assault, and child abuse, to name a few. This branch, not stranger to many, has been growing tenfold in its potential and its ability to bring the forlorn to justice where a dental remains is the only available evidence. This is important just like the other branch. Forensic odontology is proper handling, examination, and evaluation of dental evidence, which will be presented in the interest of justice. It may derive from the teeth, the age, and identification of the person to whom the teeth may belong. Let's go to its historical background. In 66 AD, well-documented evidence to the use of teeth for identification began with Agrippina and Lolita Pauline case. It was the first use of dental identification where there is a record. 1193, the first forensic identification in India started in where Haijan, a great Indian monarchy, was destroyed by Muhammad's army, and Haijan, Graha, and Kanawi was murdered, and he was identified by his false teeth. It also plays an important role when identification of remains of deceased person is skeletonized, decomposed, burned, or dismembered, and is invalid by visual or fingerprint methods. The fourth one is no other than DNA fingerprinting. DNA fingerprinting was only developed 2 decades ago. In the short time since its invention, DNA fingerprinting not only transformed criminal forensics and judicial system around the world, but has also revolutionized fields of biology ranging from evolutionary studies to cancer detection and treatment. Amazingly enough, DNA fingerprinting technology will soon enable doctors to detect as few as 10 cancerous cells in an entire lymph node and will allow them to determine whether a woman who had breast cancer is at risk for relapse and evolutionary status. Second to the last one is the portrait parler. These two French words mean speaking likeness. Portrait parler can be defined as a rigorous system for verbal description of physical characteristics of the subject. It is based on the Bertillon method of criminal identification by measurements of the human body and still in practice today to some extent. A distinctive description of every feature of the face and head are especially valuable for investigation, especially when a set of suspect's fingerprints is not available in its file. In 1892, Alphonse Bertillon, also called father of scientific detection, said that anthropology could be invoked to aid in the scientific recognition and identification of criminals. Employing these methods of scientific description, he worked out a system of identification utilizing 11 skeletal measurements which are practically unchanged after maturity and are not affected by increase or loss of weight. His classification provided a basis for modern recall that would aid the artist in producing sketches as well as the development of composite kits, catalogs, and computer system. Originally, he meant for the catalog to be an identification aid for recognition of local prisoners, but later it was found to be useful for obtaining description of unknown suspect also. Bertillon stated from the observations that human bone structure was more or less absolutely fixed by the age of 20, and that the skeleton varied tremendously in its dimensions between one person and another. It was not until 1882, however, that Bertillon was given the opportunity to prove the validity of his system in the eyes of the prefect of police. After a 3-month trial period, he was able to identify a repeat offender by proving that the man who had just been caught on the scene of theft had indeed been arrested some time before. And the last but not the least, anthropometry. Designed by Alphonse Bertillon, began in 1890 and lasted approximately 20 years before being replaced by fingerprint identification. Alphonse's father, Louis Bertillon, a famous French physician, and largely influenced Alphonse's knowledge and interest in the human skeletal system. Louis helped Alphonse secure a job as a clerk with the Parisian police in 1879, where he began to focus his research on the difficulty of identifying repeat offenders. Of course, at that time, there was no system of identification in place. Even an understanding of fingerprints had not yet been well developed at that. Anthropometry is about physical measurements that also includes physical descriptions like hair, eye, color, any unusual markings on the body like tattoos and scars. Lastly, Alphonse included frontal and side view photographs of each person, which are recognized today as mugshots. Sounds like portrait parler, huh? Yet they do have similarities since it came from the same person, the great Bertillon. These methods of identification drastically uplift the humanity, thanks to the inventors who use their intelligence and knowledge to produce these kinds of helpful things. And this is the end of my crash course about different methods of identification. Thank you and God bless.